back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Sam Menzie. I have a great show for you today. First topic we'll be going over is Steven Kwan's incredible, amazing breakout season with the Cleveland Guardians and the impact it's been having on their team. After that, we'll be going over Kyle Radish having Tommy John surgery for Baltimore Orioles, Royce Lewis' incredible season for the Minnesota Twins, some pitcher power rankings, and the NL wildcard situation. But before we do all that, I'd like to ask you to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers to ensure that your question does get read in the air. Please use the link gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot. So thank you so much for that. And let's get into our show for today. All right, so the first topic we'll be going over is, of course, Steven Kwan and his season for the Cleveland Guardians. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, Steven Kwan coming into this year was known as a really good player, but just had a little bit of a down season last year. Wasn't that great. Only 100 weighted runs created plus. Before that in 2022, when the Guardians surprised a lot of people and were pretty good, he had a really good rookie season, was in the running for Rookie of the Year the entire year, and was just a really fantastic, exciting player. And going into this year, there was a lot of mixed signals with him. You didn't really know what kind of player he would be. And he's been absolutely fantastic this year with Cleveland, has done a really, really great job, and his stats are incredible and is one of the biggest reasons, maybe even the biggest, that the Guardians are exceeding so much of expectations right now and are first place in the AL Central. Currently, Kwan has a weighted runs created plus of 193, which is absolutely insane to think about. And I'm not a batting average guy. I never have been. I don't think it's a great hit. I don't think it's a great stat, but his batting average currently is 397, which is insane. That's just insanity. I mean, every 4 out of 10 times he's getting a base hit, which is just absolutely insane. So that's also incredible. And yeah, his hitting stats are just really jump off the board insane. His barrel percentage is up. It's still not high considering it's not really the type of player he is, but again, it's not really something to worry about. His hard hit percentage is up 4%, so even with a player like him, he doesn't really hit the ball as hard. His hitting stats in that area are still up and are still doing well, so props to him. And I mean, hey, he's been doing absolutely fantastic. He's hitting less ground balls by a significant margin, which is good. 45% last year, now it goes down to 37. Line drive percentage as well is up from 25 to 32 this year, so that's also great. So yeah, just overall, he's hitting the ball much better. His pull percentage is up as well. Hard hit percentage is up as well. So yeah, is becoming a much better hitter than he was before, and really is one of the biggest reasons why the Guardians have done that as well as they have this year. I mean, as I talked about going into the year, I did not have the Guardians very high up on my list, on high up on the division. I thought they were just a very mediocre team that didn't really have a future, not necessarily a future, but kind of an identity, I'd say. I just thought they were, again, extremely mediocre, very middle brow, and they've absolutely smashed every expectation out of the water this season, have done so well. And yeah, I mean, looking at the AL Central right now, the Guardians are ahead of the Twins and the Royals by 5.5 in 6 games. They have a winning percentage of .634, which is third in the AL, only to the mighty Yankees and Orioles. So they've just had an absolutely fantastic season this year, have just been so incredible, and a lot of it is because of Kwan. Kwan is really setting the lineup up very nicely, being the leadoff hitter for most of these games for Cleveland, playing great defense as well, and really is helping this team exceed all expectations I never really thought they would have. So yeah, I mean, looking at it as well in the lineup, you of course also have other players who are one of the big reasons why this team has done as well as they have this year. You of course have Josh Naylor, who's had a real good breakout season this year with the bat, has been absolutely amazing. Jose Ramirez, of course, who is always absolutely incredible. I mean, one of the most underrated players in baseball, year in and year out, plays like an absolutely incredible player. Talked about yesterday how he was fifth on the American League MVP ladder right now. So a lot of great players that are breaking out this year, and Cleveland just put it all together and done absolutely fantastic. And again, I think Kwan is one of those big reasons. Having a guy like him at the top of the order to set everything up, be a leader, and when he goes up to the plate, you're very confident he's going to get on base. I mean, he's almost getting on base half the time at this point, and it's just pretty incredible what he's been able to do this year, especially in that leadoff spot, and also in a division where there's a lot of good pitchers. I mean, you're playing the Royals regularly, who have one of the best pitching staffs I've seen in years. Twins, who definitely aren't too shabby. Tigers, who have had breakout players like Reese Olson, Jack Flaherty, also have Tarek Skubal. So they're also playing a lot of good pitchers as well, and being able to have a guy at the top of your lineup like Kwan who's able to set everything up, do a really great job, and overall just be a fantastic table setter is pretty fantastic. So yeah, has been an absolutely amazing player, and overall has been great. I'm going to be right back. Sorry, I have to deal with something quickly. Sorry, we're back here. Had to deal with a little bit of a thing off screen. I apologize about that. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. But yeah, continuing with this about Kwan and just the Guardians, I mean, they've really have done so fantastic. And in a division, again, that I talked about the pitching, but overall is really just great as well. I mean, you have these teams like the Royals, like the Twins, who I had above you, and are just great, great teams with a lot of talent. And the Guardians have been able to go above them and have just done a really, really amazing, fantastic job. And yeah, have just been an amazing team. So props to them. Props to what they've been able to put together this year. And yeah, just have done such a great, great job as a team this year. And again, they exceeded my expectations, have proven me wrong, because again, I thought they were going to be mediocre, and have done great with the bats. I mean, you have Kwan now, you have Naylor, you have Ramirez. That's a great hitting core to start off with. And one of the big things is they've been able to do all this without a great pitching core. I mean, when we think of the Guardians these past few years, we think of an elite pitching core, great players on this team, but they haven't been able to do that recently. Shane Bieber, who Shane Bieber just got hurt for the entire season at the start of the year, actually. So when he went down, the Guardians were already off to a really great start. I was kind of like, okay, that's kind of it. You had a nice little run there, Cleveland, but it's time to go. And oh well, see you later. Nice start to the season you had, but without Bieber, you're going to do nothing, and your offense is going to fall back to reality. And they have not done that. To be honest, they have still managed to be an outstanding team. Have been really, really great, even without their pitching core being fantastic, even without Bieber playing for them. So yeah, have just been really, really great. Have been a superb team this year, and again, are in a very tough division. And being able to do all this, being in a division against teams like the Royals, like the Twins, like the Tigers even, who have a lot of talent, it's been very, very impressive that they've been able to rise above every single person and done a really, really great job. So, yeah, props to them. And, yeah, I think two of the biggest reasons why they've been able to do this is really two things. One, their bullpen. Their bullpen is really, really fantastic. Of course, you have Emmanuel Clase in the back end, who obviously helps you a lot and is one of the best closers in baseball. By the way, they almost traded him in the offseason, so very lucky that they did not and were able to keep on to him, because I don't think they would be as good as they are right now if they didn't have him. But it's not just Clase. This bullpen overall is really fantastic, and they have a lot of arms going up to Clase that are able to be the reason why this bullpen is so good. Hunter Gaddis, he's had a very solid season. Scott Barlow been solid. Scott Hench has been solid. Nick Sandlin before he got hurt, Cade Smith. So they've been having some really good bullpen arms as well. So you're able to back this bullpen up with Clase in there, and have done just a great, great job with the bullpen right now. And have been really, really great. So props to them, and have just done a really amazing, fantastic job with their team this year. Also, the manager in hiring, Stephen Vogt. Vogt has not had an easy job coming in and filling in for one of the greatest managers of baseball history in Terry Francona, a man who is idolized in Cleveland, Ohio, and has stepped into that role, done a really, really great job, has been able to rally this young team to play better than we thought they could, and has made the right decisions. The team seems to be rallying behind him as a man, and has just been a perfect hiring for this Cleveland team. A lot of people were very skeptical about his hiring at first because he just came from the major leagues, had no real coaching experience. But, they always say that catchers are going to be managers in the future, and Vogt has proven that right and has done a really, really great job, has shown his attentiveness for baseball, has shown his passion, shown his talent for managing games, and has been a perfect hire for this Cleveland Guardians team, where they are with their franchise right now. So props to him, and another great decision by this Guardians franchise. So that is it for our first segment here, talking about Steven Kwan and his breakout season for the Guardians and just how well the Guardians have done in general. Moving into our second segment here, which is going to be talking about Kyle Bradish and getting Tommy John surgery and the impact it is going to have on the Orioles team. So yeah, we talk about that. I do apologize for me taking a break in the middle. I deal with something off screen again. Doesn't happen much, I apologize, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. So we'll see you after this, and thanks and bye.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?